What if abundance wasn't something out there that we had to chase, but something we could invite into our lives by changing our energy and our mindset? Hey everyone, I'm Rose Colburn, and I am so glad that you're here. Every Wednesday, I'm exploring topics related to how we feel about money, finances, and wealth by using the topics from this set of oracle cards called Healing Money Blocks. One of the most important things to always keep in mind is that the way we think about money is deeply connected to the way we allow ourselves to receive money and to believe we're worthy of more. So as we get ready for today's card draw, take a deep breath. Whether you're here because you want more, you want clarity in your financial path, you're working on manifesting greater abundance, or you're simply ready to heal your relationship with money, you're in the right place. So before we pull today's card, I want you to reflect on what's been coming up for you recently when it comes to money. Is there a block or a limiting belief that's been holding you back? Maybe you've been feeling overwhelmed by financial stress, or you're just ready to take the next step toward a goal. Whatever it is, set your intention right now for this reading. And as we get ready to draw this card, allow yourself to open up to the message that's meant for you, whether it's clarity, it's reassurance, or a shift in perspective. Trust that what you need will come through. So let's tune into the energy of abundance together, and let's see what wisdom the cards have for us. Today's card is called Little Bites. Little Bites. So let's take and read the card that we have. Little Bites. Take consistent action towards improving your financial situation, no matter how small. Take consistent action towards improving your financial situation, no matter how small. I love the energy of this card. It is such a gentle but powerful reminder that even the smallest actions can lead to significant change over time. This card speaks directly to those of us who might feel overwhelmed by the size of our financial goals. It's so easy to get caught up in the mindset of thinking, I can't make a big move right now. Why bother at all? The truth is, every little step that you take, every small decision you make, can make a ripple effect that leads to lasting financial growth. It's about making small, intentional choices that move you forward, even if those actions seem insignificant in the moment. You might be thinking, like, how can tiny steps make any kind of a difference? Look, just like water can carve its way through a rock over time, those small efforts can compound and create lasting financial transformation. This card reminds us that progress is progress, no matter how small it is. I think the very first thing to take away from this message of this card is just the most obvious one. Trust in the power of small steps. If you've been feeling discouraged because your financial goals seem too far away, focus on what you can do right now. Think about one of your financial goals. Maybe it's something really big, like saving for a down payment on a house or paying off a large debt. It's just so easy to feel discouraged if you can't save a huge amount of money every month. But even if you're only able to put away a small amount, take $20, $50, still matters. It's still progress. And it's such a huge sign that you're moving in the right direction. Over time, these small amounts, they'll add up. The key is to keep going, to focus on what you can do instead of what you can't. Perfectionism can be one of the biggest obstacles to financial success. When we think that we can make the perfect decision, or unless we can do everything just right, really isn't possible, which is not moving forward. The truth is, waiting for perfection is just another way of staying stuck. Saving $20 when your goal is $500, $1,000, $2,500, or even more seems so inconsequential that we just don't even bother trying. I know because I've been in this place. I looked at my expenses and saw that I can cut out Netflix, I can cancel my Kindle Unlimited, I can cancel Amazon Prime, a few other subscriptions, a few other little expenses. Maybe it would add up to 40, 50, 60 bucks. When what I needed to cut out was 200 bucks from my budget. It just felt like it wasn't worth it. So why bother? But saving that 50, 60 bucks is closer to that 200 than saving nothing at all. So if you've got a journal, take it out right now and ask yourself what's one small action you can take right now. Maybe you get paid every week and you can set aside just maybe $5, maybe 50, 100, or maybe it's choosing to bring lunch from home instead of eating out. Now here's the secret to making this work. Think about how you can turn those small steps into a habit. Small actions, when they're done consistently, turn into habits that can transform your financial life. Think about the power of weekly or monthly routines, whether it's setting aside a specific amount of money to save or cutting back somewhere on your expenses. Over time, those little habits become part of who you are. My friend Amanda, when she transitioned to a better job that aligned with her financial goals, she had to take it one step at a time instead of getting overwhelmed by all the changes that she was going to have to do to make it. She set a weekly habit of reviewing her progress, tracking things like where she put in applications, and checking back on interviews that she'd completed, staying on top of new interviews that were coming up, and even comparing different offers that she received once they started coming in. The process of switching jobs, it took her a lot longer than she really thought that it would. But it was the small habit that gave her a sense of control to help her always see the progress she was making, even when it felt like things were taking forever or she just never find what she was looking for. The same thing can apply to anyone, regardless of your financial situation. Whether it's setting up automatic transfers into your savings account, keeping a budget, or learning something new about investing, the key is to take action consistently. Over time, those habits will support you in reaching your bigger goals. Habits are so powerful because they operate on autopilot once they're ingrained. Imagine if, over the next few months, you regularly contributed a small amount to your savings account, or paid down a little bit on your debt in just tiny increments, or cut back on some minor expenses. These choices, I know, they might not feel like much, but over time, they add up, and the results really will surprise you. Consistency is more important than intensity. Sure, we all dream of a big financial breakthrough, a sudden windfall of cash, winning the lottery, or making a life-changing investment. Here's the simple truth. Making simple, regular efforts with your finances, like setting aside little bits of money each week or tracking your spending routines, will give you better results over time. One common trap that people fall into is thinking that they need everything to be perfect before they can start taking actions. I've done it, and I know you've done it as well. Just recently, I went to the doctor for the first time in a really long time, and been putting it off, as usual. And when the test results came back, I'll be honest, it was a huge wake-up call, and I knew that I needed to take some actions in order to improve my health. So the first day, I had that little burst of energy. I wrote up a detailed plan for improving my diet. I figured out the nutrition info on all the foods that I would eat, and I wrote down portion sizes along with my meal plans. I also wrote out a daily schedule. I'm going to meditate at this time. I'm going to eat breakfast at this time. I'm going to take a walk at this time. Planned out all my activities for the day. So the next day, I woke up at exactly the right time, and I followed my daily plan exactly as I intended, and I ate exactly the foods I said I would, and I did everything in my plan, right? Yeah, sure I did. Yep, perfect. Okay, no. Instead, I sat down, I created a spreadsheet that I could print off so that I could mark things as done as I completed them throughout the day. And then I created a spreadsheet to track all my nutrition info. I signed up for a profile on MyFitnessPal. So the third day, that's when I really put the plan into action and did everything right. Yeah? Oh, no. Of course, I went through and I printed out all the trackers and I corrected them and I adjusted them. And I finished setting my info up on MyFitnessPal, but I took a walk, just kind of ease into my new plan. Yeah, that sound familiar to you? If you were in a situation like that with your financial goals, you set this beautiful, big, exciting goal. It's huge and it aligns with everything you want in your life. Then you find yourself doing mundane things instead of doing something that would help you progress towards your goals. Maybe you've written up a perfectly crafted budget or made a list of all your expenses to save money, or you did something else that sort of looks like you're moving towards your goal, but the reality was it's just a bunch of fluff. Maybe you told yourself, I'll start saving when I get a better job. Makes sense, right? I'll start budgeting when my income is more stable. The truth is, it's just never going to be a perfect time. There is no one right time to start improving your financial habits. Life is always happening, and waiting for the perfect time results in absolutely no progress. As you watch the weeks, the months, the years slip by. So really, I would say the second message of this card of Little Bites is encouraging you to start where you're at right now. No matter how small that step is, consistency is not about being perfect every day. It's about making progress, even if that progress feels tiny or imperfect. Some weeks you might save $50. In other weeks it might be 5. But both of those are wins, because you're doing something to make progress towards your goals. So if you're using a journal, let's brainstorm some ways to help you build consistency into your daily routine. In order to make it easier to be consistent, it's helpful to create small financial habits that you do every day or week that help you follow through. Over time, these habits become second nature, and eventually you'll do them without thinking about. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay, that you can write down and answer any of them that you think might help you. These questions will give you a place to start in building your own financial habits. So first of all, ask yourself, what can you automate? What are some ways you can integrate automation into your financial life? Maybe you can set up an automatic transfer into your savings account, or maybe you set an alert on your bank account that notifies you if you reached a specific amount of money that you've spent. So next question, what is something you can do in 5 or 10 minutes every day to keep yourself accountable? Is it reviewing your spending, looking at your bank balances, reviewing your budgets, paying a bill, checking the progress of your financial goals? Whatever you think of that you can do in 5 or 10 minutes every day, make it a habit. Do it consistently. Do something that will help you move forwards towards your goal. But consistently keeping your financial goals right there in front of you, you're able to stay on top of them, catch any issues before they become a problem. So let's see, the last question, what milestones can you use to define your progress? Setting clear, achievable goals is essential when building consistency in your financial life. When you know exactly what you're working towards, it becomes easier to take those small, consistent steps in the right direction. Start by defining your big financial goals, whether it's paying off debt, saving for a vacation, or building up an emergency fund. But then take those goals and break those down into smaller, more manageable targets. For example, if your goal is to save $1,000 in the next 6 months, break it down to saving about $40 every week. This makes the goal feel less overwhelming and gives you a tangible target to focus on. Every time you hit one of those small milestones, you gain confidence and motivation to keep going. So the next thing is really super important. When you know what your milestones are, the next thing you need to do is to make a plan for how you will celebrate those wins. When you're focused on a long-term goal, it's so easy to get discouraged that you're only looking at what's really far out there, and you still have a long ways to go. What about how far you've already come? Every time you take a small step, whether it's saving a little bit more, paying down a bill, or avoiding an impulse buy, take a moment to acknowledge that progress. Let's say you've managed to save $100 this month. Maybe that feels like just a little drop in the bucket compared to the thousands that you want to save. But don't dismiss that achievement. Celebrate it. Recognize that $100 saved is $100 closer to your goal. That energy of gratitude and celebration will keep you motivated to keep taking those little bites, even when the bigger picture feels so far away. You don't have to spend money to celebrate your wins. If you're creative, you can find ways to celebrate and still remain on track. Celebrating your wins, no matter how small, keeps you motivated and reinforces the belief that your efforts are making a difference. It builds confidence and a sense of accomplishment, which fuels your journey forward. So give yourself credit for those little victories. Now, celebrating your wins is essential for your progress, but it's also essential to address one more thing, and that's how to handle discouragement. Even with the best intentions, staying consistent can be challenging, especially when progress feels so slow. That's why this card is such an important reminder. It's okay if some days feel harder than others, or if you have setbacks. What matters is that you continue to move forward, no matter how small the step might be. Focus on just the next step that you need to take, rather than the entire journey ahead. Remember, setbacks are a normal part of any financial journey. Instead of focusing on what's not going right, shift your attention to the progress you've already made, no matter how small. Consistent small changes are key to long-term financial transformation. By incorporating simple financial habits into your routines and trusting that progress will come with time, you build a strong financial foundation that lasts. Keep showing up even when the steps feel small. Even when you don't see the progress that you feel like you should be seeing, because those are the actions that lead to lasting change. So here's the challenge for you this week. Think about one small, consistent action that you can take towards your financial goals and actually do it. Don't just think about it or plan it. Commit to it and celebrate the progress, no matter how small. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.